Knockoffs have been around as long as people could profit off of popular shows and movies with cheap toys resembling them. But as technology became more accessible and more cost-effective, more and more knockoffs took different forms, such as movies and video games, with or without passion or knowing. On the movie side of things, they're made to trick the elderly and those who have a lesser eyesight to buy their products thinking it's the same thing, such as these great classics as Transmorphers, Frozen Land, Tangled Up, Little Cars, and I can go on and on and on. Most of the movies have nothing to do with the original movie that it's knocking off. Most of the movies are unrelated to the movie they're knocking off. But when people buy it, they think, ah, damn, this isn't the movie I wanted. I want a refund, but you can only notice if you're not visually impaired or you put the disc in, so you can't return it now. Then you realize you've been duped. I paid less, so I got less. This is the price of wanting to be cheap or having shitty eyesight. But when the idea of knockoffs is applied to video games, it doesn't really work because they are the same price. Although the video games I'm talking about are not knockoffs, but they are clones. There are some video game knockoffs, but I wanted to state the difference between clones and knockoffs. Clones in video games are a lot like knockoffs, but it's not taking a core idea and trying to trick somebody, yet it's just trying to ride the trend of the time. Let's take, for example, say when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out, and it was highly praised and was the most popular game of that generation, with selling 12 million copies overall from both the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. So when developers saw this success, they tried to make games similar to that in both subject matter, controls, look, style, and gameplay. Games such as the True Crime series, Sleeping Dogs, The Getaway, and the first Saints Row. Why I only say the first Saints Row game and not the others? That is because Saints Row 1 is too much like Grand Theft Auto, but when Saints Row 2 came out, it was a lot more off the wall and cartoonish and violent. Developers moved on and started making games to chase the trend of a popular series. After Grand Theft Auto, it was Call of Duty, trying to be a gritty shooter that's all realistic. All the people making similar games start to make the idea bland and generic, even though it was good originally. Like I said earlier before, in this video I wanted to state the difference between clones and knockoffs, because it will show a lot of differences between who makes the knockoffs and who makes the clones. Clones steal a somewhat popular idea and adding their own spin to it. While on the other hand, knockoffs are made in Chinese sweatshops, but are mostly toys, I think. People who make the knockoffs know what they're doing is being a knockoff, and yet someone who makes a video game similar to Grand Theft Auto, people say that as a form of criticism and not just uncovering a scam. There is some hope for clones, even though there is no hope for knockoffs. Clones can become less like what they are trying to resemble and more unique, but when they could become too unique, they won't sell well. Welcome to modern video games, everybody.